There weren't a whole lot of times where the writers of the show dropped the ball when it came to overall character development, but a pretty good case can be made that they did so with DiDi.
Yeah, we was using 4 layers of protection and my men still got through.
Please, Dad, there's a child present.
Oh, she's my wife, Hank. She was there when it happened. Ain't that right, baby cakes?
If you say so, Cotton.
Hey folks, welcome to Squirrel Tactics. Like, subscribe, check out the Patreon, let's do this. DiDi Hill, supposedly the DD is short for Deirdre by the way, also known as Cotton Baby Mama number 3, voiced by Ashley Gardner, who also voiced several other characters including Nancy, and of course...
I don't know you, that's my purse!
She's the second wife of Cotton and mother of GH or Good Hank.
I'm calling him Hank. I always wanted a boy named Hank.
Dad, Hank is my name.
Not anymore, I'm taking it back.
In her first appearance in Shins of the Father, we learn that she's 39, meaning yes, she's just a smidge younger than Cotton.
I heard after Hank's mother left Cotton, he married his 16-year-old nurse. DiDi is 39, thank you very much. Although parts of her are much younger. Ooh, Peggy here.
And that makes her roughly the same age as Hank, seeing as they went to kindergarten together.
I didn't notice you,
DiDi, come on out here and gab with Hank's wife. Look at here, Hank. What you think of your mama's new tatas?
Oh, she is not my mother. Hell, we went to kindergarten together.
Hey, Hank. Do you still like finger painting?
By the way, she kind of gets stuck on the whole finger painting thing. She actually brings it up again in the Texas Skill Saw Massacre.
Hank has always been angry. When we were in kindergarten and the other children would use the finger paints, he would pinch them.
You are a bald-faced liar.
Amen.
And just to get it out of the way, yes, Cotton paid for her to get breast implants. Apparently he got a good deal on them.
Cotton, I'll do the dishes. I like to.
Permission granted. Put an apron over your new bosom, too. Don't tell her, but I got 'em cheap. Both lefties.
But lefties are not, which, fun fact, apparently that doesn't matter in real life. Cotton was still on a payment plan.
All my money goes to the baby's mouth mush and your step-granny's booby payments.
And her fake tatas, as Cotton would put it, are brought up several times in the show, like in Hank's backstory.
DiDi, come over here. Put your fake tatas next to Hank's. We'll see who's got the bigger melons.
Earlier in the series, she was more or less a blonde ditz that made Luann seem somewhat intelligent and was rather timid, serving as the perfect punching bag for Cotton.
Supper time, Colonel.
You forgot my beer. Go on. Get me my beer, woman. Huh?
Dad?
Looking for this?
Well, you told me you left GH sleeping in a bag of hammers. How could you trick me like that? You ain't bright.
Now, how did those two end up together? Well, we get the answer to that in the last Shinsult when DiDi explains to Hank that during one of Cotton's annual trips to the hospital to get his shins drained of fluid...
Yeah, I come in here once a year to get my shins drained. I don't take no anesthetic. Did Lincoln ask for girly gas when they blowed his head off?
She instantly fell in love with him, I guess due to his small stature and larger-than-life persona.
Oh, look at you. Aren't you the cutest little helpless thing? Oh, you're like a little baby in that gown. Oh, Gucci, Gucci, goo. Oh.
And Cotton fell for her for a slightly different reason.
Oh, sweet Lord! Clean peaches and heavy syrup.
It was like Romeo and, Juliet.
By the way, the song playing in the background there is the Andrews Sisters' version of Don't Sit Under the Apple Tree, a song that was rather popular during the Second World War. Anywho, as you can see, DiDi at the time was working at a cosmetics counter when Hank came to try and get her and Cotton back together after Cotton threw her out.
We had another fight. I threw her out. DiDi, woman, my toes are cold. Knit me a blanket.
I don't have time, honey. I'm late for work.
That's a good one, baby cakes. Now get your knitting sticks.
You're gonna have to wear your socks, Colonel.
Yeah, so I put her out in the street.
Yeah, that's totally a logical reason to throw your wife out. And though Hank is at least outwardly optimistic that they can patch things up, and by outwardly optimistic, I mean kinda desperate.
You and my dad gotta patch things up quicker than usual this time. I'm having trouble keeping him under control.
Oh, there's no patching things up this time, Hank. The passion is gone.
However, DiDi isn't quite as sold on the idea, and we get a classic case of Hank getting uncomfortable.
But now the magic's gone. Cotton said my bottom was too small. Do you think it's too small?
Oh, no. Put that away. It's fine. It's very big.
The two do end up patching things up by the end of the episode due to Hank being pretty smart and recreating how they met, reminding them of how they fell in love.
I'm sorry I said your butt was too small. But if anything, it's too big. But I likes you for who you is.
Come on, little baby boy. I'll drive you home.
Now, the more keen-eyed viewers may notice that in her next appearance in Next of Shin, DiDi looks a tad bit different.
DiDi woman, hurry up with my bags. She ain't fat. I got her knocked up.
Yep, she's pregnant, or knocked up as Cotton so eloquently puts it. Hank and Peggy take the expecting couple to buy baby supplies, which is a rather kind thing for them to do.
Peggy, this is very nice of you, but I just feel awkward letting my stepdaughter buy me a crib.
Oh, no. We want to. It's our gift to you because we're so happy for you.
However, while doing so, Cotton has an episode of PTSD, or shell shock as his generation would put it, mostly caused by his anxiety at becoming a parent again at his age.
DiDi woman, I need a drink.
This unfortunately leads to Cotton running off, of course, after DiDi loaded his bags, and I do love how she looks when she runs here.
Hank! Cotton's missing. He's run away.
What? Are you sure?
Oh yes, he had me load his bags into the Cadillac car.
So they go out looking for him, leaving DiDi back at base camp, which, as we see, was both a smart and dumb decision. Yeah, she can cover the phone in case Cotton calls, but that requires her to, answer the damn phone.
Any calls, DiDi?
Just one, but I let the machine get it because I didn't want to tie up the line.
Yeah, it's me. I hope y'all ain't out looking for me, because if you are, you ain't gonna find me, and I ain't coming back. Hank, I need you to raise DiDi's baby. And DiDi.
To be fair, knowing DiDi, she might have totally forgotten that Cotton had called if she had answered the phone. So I guess it's just a toss-up. Either way, Hank is able to figure out through using star 69, which dials the last number that called, to find out that Cotton was in Las Vegas.
Hank, my stepson. Cotton is small and sneaky. How will you ever find him?
So he, Dale, and Bill head to Vegas to find Cotton, though it was a tad bit difficult at first due to an interesting reason, but at least they started their search by checking the most logical places.
8 topless bars and no Cotton. Of course, you'd be a lot more help if you'd open your eyes, Hank.
Hank is finally able to find Cotton in a casino, and the two have a talk, with Cotton showing that he does care for DiDi.
I'll look in on DiDi and the baby and the new husband.
What? Who is it?
I forget his name. Terry or Jerry or something like that. I think he's a dancer at Chippendales.
Give me his address. I'll get him.
Dad, I just made him up. But you see how worked up you got? You still love DiDi. Now come on home.
I was going back anyway. Got to find me Mr. Terry Jerry and gut him up good.
Cotton agrees to go back, and then we get to see a genuine conversation between the two, something that's rather rare in the show, with Cotton actually acting like a father who cares about his son. I know it's shocking.
Oh, Hank, you ain't in competition with me. Hell, if it's a contest on who's the better daddy, you win. I mean, you made Bobby. All I made was you.
Thanks, Dad. But what if I keep trying and it doesn't happen?
Well, then you had the fun of trying, boy. I gots to have that talk with you.
And apparently Cotton and DiDi patch things up again because we see them next in 9 Pretty Darn Angry Men when the two of them violate the alternating holiday agreement that Cotton has with Hank in order to keep Cotton away from Tilly.
Dad, you came last Thanksgiving. This year it's Mom's turn, remember?
Well, I don't want to cause any fuss. Your mother can eat in the yard.
And just in case anyone needed a reminder of why the two of them are kept separate, well, we see that at dinner pretty clearly.
DiDi's your grandmom too, baby. Your pretty grandmom.
Dad.
Of course, bad as Tilly was in the kitchen, she was even worse in the bedroom. I said the woman was lousy in the sack.
It is interesting to see that DiDi and Tilly spend the day together at 6 Miles Over, Texas, as we get to see them bond over having to deal with Cotton.
I'm sorry about all those things Cotton said about you. It doesn't mean anything. He just doesn't like you.
Oh, I wouldn't mind Cotton's rantings if Hank would just stick up for me.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, Hank doesn't stick up for me either. His own stepmother.
See, adversity brings people together. What tears them apart is stuff like burning down a church, which is what Cotton was accused of in Revenge of the Lutefisk, though it was Bobby who accidentally started the fire.
Bobby!
Grandpa!
I didn't do it!
I believe you!
It was somebody else!
I know!
Look for the man with the terrible smell! He's the one you want! You hear me? The man with the terrible smell!
I'll miss you!
Rather than admitting his wrongdoing or staying to see his grandfather suffer the consequences of his actions, Bobby decides to run off to Mexico, and it's in the bus station that he runs into DiDi.
Bobby?
Grandma DiDi?
Oh, Bobby, I just came in from Houston. Cotton is in jail.
No! Are you here to bail him out?
There's no bail. He's burned down a church. Now our baby is going to grow up without a father. Not your and my baby. Cotton's and my baby.
She gives him a talk about accepting responsibility for things, even if they're accidents. And she's either showing more depth here than her character normally does, or she's just kind of rambling. Either way, it does change Bobby's mind.
This baby was an accident too, but if I forgot about it, it would never get born. I think you have to be responsible for your accidents. Cotton thinks so too. At least he stopped saying he didn't.
Really?
He said if the baby turned out as good as you, Bobby, then he will not abandon it.
Also, shout out to Longview here, go Lobos. Then we have as old as the Hills, where Peggy is still having a hard time with DiDi being pregnant and not her.
It is so unfair that your eggs are rotten.
Well, for your information, my eggs are just fine. It's Hank's narrow urethra that's the problem.
As well as the attention that DiDi gets because she's pregnant that Peggy doesn't get because, you know, it's always all about Peggy.
This one's busting to get out. Not like Hank. Never moved once while he was in there. Not even born, and he already give up.
Bobby goes to stay with DiDi and Cotton because it's Hank and Peggy's 20th anniversary, and it gives them some privacy. Plus, it inadvertently gives Bobby something to keep him busy.
Bobby, this ain't no Baskin-Robbins vacation. DiDi's with child. She's useless. Now, you can start by cleaning the back of my ears.
Bobby also figures out pretty quick that Cotton is not the nicest of those around him, especially DiDi, who, as I said earlier, is basically Cotton's verbal punching bag.
DiDi woman, light me a cigar.
I hope he treats the baby better than he treats you.
Oh, he will, Bobby, until the baby crosses him.
DiDi woman, where's my lunch?
She's home with just Bobby when her water breaks. Of course, Cotton is off at the bottomless pit, the strip club, not the barbecue place. So Bobby has to drive her to the hospital, but seeing as neither of them knows where the Houston hospital is, Bobby decides to drive the 96 miles to Arlen, learning a little about driving along the way.
Go around! Please, go around! I can't see where I'm going.
Oh, put it on cruise control and stand on the seat. That's what Cotton does when we pass an accident.
I can't! The red light keeps telling me to brake!
Oh, I think you need to release the parking brake.
Oh, fart!
But props to Bobby, he gets her there and stands in for Cotton while DiDi gives birth.
Oh, the head is crowning.
Oh, shit! It's got hair!
Where you going, Daddy? Don't you want to cut the cord?
Okay, so when I first watched this, I took that to be Bobby talking about the baby's head having hair. But as an adult, I'm not sold that that was what he was talking about. Anywho, DiDi has the baby, and yeah, she kinda has a hard time after it.
Where's my new dependent? I'm supposed to look at it.
Where did I put... Oh, there it is.
She's clearly dealing with postpartum depression, which at the time wasn't considered a big deal like most forms of mental illness.
DiDi, did you name this baby yet?
What's the use?
And just to point this out, even Peggy completely glosses over DiDi having PPD. You'd figure if anyone would feel her pain and be at least somewhat understanding, it would be another woman.
Why isn't the baby with his mother?
DiDi Hill has postpartum depression. She couldn't even gather up the strength to put on some lipstick. And she looks awful.
Oh, that poor infant baby.
But to Peggy's credit, she at least says something to Cotton when he goes off on DiDi because their son was lactating, which is somewhat normal for babies to do.
You did this to my son. There's no milk coming out of these.
Cotton, stop it. You should be comforting her.
Comfort her? Comfort me!
So, with Hank taking care of Peggy since she survived her parachute not opening, had a shot to kill her off, I'm just saying, Cotton refusing to deal with a baby, and DiDi in no mental shape to handle taking care of a baby, it falls on Bobby, who luckily steps up and does a great job.
Arthur does as he pleases.
Bobby, since you're doing all the woman's work around here, be a woman and get me my shin jelly.
GH kinda needs me right now.
So take him along. Just get the jelly and lather me up.
Well, that is until he finally has enough, which is totally understandable because he's a child parenting a newborn. This comes after Cotton demands shin jelly and DiDi has a request of her own.
Bobby, could you buy me some lottery tickets?
I am a 12-year-old boy. I am this child's nephew. I cannot do this. I cannot do this. If anybody makes any dinner, I'll eat. But that's it.
Bobby leaves GH in his mother's care, which is a pretty bad idea considering DiDi's headspace at the time. And yeah, it doesn't take DiDi long to run away from her responsibility.
Stop crying. I'm tired.
DiDi? DiDi, are you leaving? No, please.
Luckily, it doesn't go badly. Slight props to Peggy for rocking a baby carrier with her toes here, though. We see her next in Cotton's plot, and she's doing much better and even taking parenting classes.
Oh, I'm late for parenting class. Luann, could you give me a ride and help me find the baby?
Yeah, she kind of has a thing about misplacing the baby. No one ever accused DiDi of being the sharpest knife in the drawer. We see this again in her next appearance and when Cotton comes marching home.
Sorry I'm late. I had to take 3 buses. One to get here, one to go back and get GH, and then one to get here.
This is also the episode where we find out that Cotton and DiDi had left Houston and were staying at the VFW. Though at first, Cotton plays it off as them just visiting.
Stand on your tiptoes, DiDi woman.
Dad? Well, what are you doing in Arlen?
Buying 192 diapers. Hank's wife.
Cotton, I have been calling you. How long have you been in town?
A week. We're staying over to the VFW. We love it there. DiDi and the baby love it there, too. Ain't that right, wife?
It's just like a second honeymoon. Only it's not El Paso.
We also learn that DiDi has taken to smoking cigars, probably from having to light them for Cotton, but at least she has lower standards for them than he does.
Oh, these are not Cotton's brand. He won't like them. But I do. I'll smoke them.
Now, Peggy only showed up to borrow Cotton's war medals for her Veterans Day float, but she can't help but notice the state that they're living in.
The medals are in a locked display case in the lobby, next to the vending machine where we get dinner.
And after trying to play nice to get the war medals from Cotton fails, she decides to voice her opinion on their living conditions.
Cotton Hill, I do not know what I hate more about you. The way you talk to me or the way you treat your wife and your little child.
Well, think about it.
We find out that they have moved to Arlen for sure when Hank overhears Cotton while he's trying to turn in some cans for recycling money.
They took my house. I got to live in the VFW. I'm broke.
Broke?
Learning this, Hank drops by the VFW to talk with Cotton about his situation, and we get an odd contradiction here.
Cotton tried to find a job in Houston, but nobody wanted him.
Well, DiDi, you're a certified optometrical assistant. There's lens crafters down at the...
No wife of mine is gonna work.
So, Cotton doesn't want her working, but had no issue with her working at the makeup counter before, overlooking her inability to knit him socks. And it's possible that she was working as a candy striper while they were married as well, so where's this coming from? My guess is that Cotton doesn't want to have to stay at home and raise the baby. He loves his son, but dealing with a crying baby all day is a different matter. He'd much rather DiDi handle it, which causes her to get overstressed and probably ends up saving his life from himself.
Cotton, I have been watching GH all day. It is your turn.
Not now, woman.
Yes, now. I need some me time. to do the laundry.
Now, at this point in the series, we see DiDi become little more than a person designed to move along the plot. An example is in The Father, the Son, and JC, where she at first has no patience for Peggy, which, yeah, totally understandable.
DiDi, we are the wives of stubborn men. They are lucky to have us, aren't they?
What do you want, Peggy?
But Peggy is there, which, by the way, they've moved out of the VFW and the Casa Linda to get DiDi to help her get Hank and Cotton back on good terms. So she fills Peggy in on exactly what Cotton's mindset is.
I want Cotton to re-invite Hank to Christmas dinner.
Oh, Cotton will not do that because Hank is too cruel.
No, DiDi, Cotton is the cruel one. Hank is the one who sells propane.
But Hank is cruel. He said he loved Buck. He should say he loves Cotton. And that's not just what I think. It's what Cotton told me to think.
Cotton is jealous? But that is a human emotion.
And DiDi is ultimately used as a way to get the two men talking, though it doesn't end the best way.
That is a beautiful story, Colonel, but not as beautiful as this house. Don't you think this house is beautiful, Cotton?
It's okay.
Luckily for everyone, the whole situation gets taken care of by Jimmy Carter.
Mr. Hill?
Jimmy Carter?
She serves as another plot pusher in returning Japanese when she approaches Hank about something going on with Cotton, and that Hank needs to talk with him, which ends up leading to the whole Japan trip thing.
Hank, I'm worried. Cotton's been acting very stressed all week. Maybe you could take him out for some guy time. Nothing gay, though.
I don't know. He'll want to go to a strip club, and he always tips the girls to put their whatnots on my head.
Hank, please. Something's troubling him. He needs his son's help.
My dad needs my help?
In An Officer and a Gentle Boy, she plays the same part, informing Hank that Cotton had taken over Bobby's military school.
Oh, hey, DiDi. I've got the new TV guide here with all the judge shows circled like my dad likes. Is he around?
No, Cotton's at Fort Burke.
What?
He has temporarily taken over the academy.
Oh, God, no.
Yes, he is ruling with an iron fist. He threw Bobby in the hole about 3 days ago.
Ah!
And yet again, her and Cotton splitting up at the beginning of Dale Tech is what sparked off that episode.
Fine. Call your lawyer. Steak and eggs. Bloody but not raw.
Grandpa, where's Grandma DiDi and GH?
Going to visit her folks. I'm flopping here.
Oh, that's great, Dad. You can sleep in the...
How long will they be gone?
Summer, part of autumn, don't know.
Now, we know that they get back together after this because we see them together at Lucky and Luann's wedding. But after that, we don't see or hear from her again until serves me right for giving General George S. Patton the bathroom key, which takes place over a year after Cotton's death.
This is DiDi Hill. Cotton asked that I give you this. See you soon.
This? What does she mean by this? We can't see through the dang phone.
Yeah, she nor GH are in Death Picks Cotton. In fact, we don't ever see GH again. She comes by the Hill house to drop off some things that Cotton wanted them to have.
Hello, Hank. Peggy.
Hello, DiDi. How have you been?
Excellent. I'm getting married to a wealthy professional wrestler. Anyway, this box is for you. Sorry I'm so late getting it to you. You have no idea how difficult it has been to grieve and fall madly in love at the same time. Now I have to go.
And Hank has a few questions about his dad that he was hoping she could answer, but it doesn't go the way that Hank would have liked.
Wait, are you sure you can't stick around? I have some things I wanted to ask you about my dad.
I'm sorry, Hank, but I had to clear Cotton out of my mind so I could make room for my new husband.
And that right there is the last we see of DiDi, driving off into the sunset to raise her son with a professional wrestler. Hell, for all we know, she was married to John Cena and he was in the passenger seat the whole time. So DiDi is an interesting character in that she doesn't have a whole lot of development, though there was quite a bit of room for growth. We did see her come more into her own after suffering from the postpartum depression, and I'm glad that the show took the opportunity to at least feature a character that dealt with PPD, but they don't show her working through it, and it's basically just dropped after one episode. Her character also changes from appearance to appearance. Sometimes she seems to have the depth of a kiddie pool, while other times she speaks with a wisdom beyond her years. I mean, don't get me wrong, I get that a broken clock is right twice a day, but it can be kind of weird. Actually, when you think about it, the show really did buy into the whole dumb blonde trope. I mean, DiDi, Luann, Leanne, Debbie, and even Nancy is often portrayed as experience not being the brightest bulb on the tree. DiDi is shown to be forgetful and dumb. They made several jokes about her not knowing where her baby was after all, and she seems to have moved on from Cotton rather quickly, though their marriage probably wasn't going to last too terribly much longer had Cotton died or not. It would have been nice to see her stand up to Cotton more than the few times that she did, especially since she was supposed to be growing as a person after she got over the PPD. Overall, I think that DiDi was a wasted opportunity. They made her a ditzy pushover when it could have been an interesting move to see her become her own person who could live on her own. They didn't ruin her character like they did with Tilly, but DiDi deserved a better character arc.
Well, maybe we should think about getting back. Huh, honey?
What did you say? What did you say? Okay, now, what did you say, baby cakes?
We can leave. Hank fixed the car.